Brought to you by stationhousecoffee.com and inspireddisorder.com/audible.
What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
F is for Family. Season 4 just dropped on Netflix, and it is a show that I enjoy quite a bit. Animated show created by Bill Burr, one of the lead characters, the dad. It's about a family back in the 70s? Let's say 70s. So it has kind of the that old kind of feel to it, nostalgic feel in a way, like a Freaks and Geeks or what was that show? Wonder Years kind of a feel, where you have the old school family dynamic, mom and dad and 3 kids, kind of Midwest, trying to make a life and dealing with all the trials and tribulations of family growing up. I love this. This might be my favorite season 4. It starts with Frank's dad coming to town. I think that's how it ended. So this season deals a lot with Frank and his father issues, the fact that he hates his dad while at the same time basically being his dad, and him trying to want to become a better person. And also, it's something that I've kind of had a feeling of. Like, I have a similar thing with my mom, where it's like nobody saw how horrible times were, because anytime other people were around, she's like the sweetest person. But then in the alone times, it's a completely different situation. At least, it definitely reminded me of that kind of dynamic, except for it's a different dynamic when it's a son and a mom instead of a dad. I don't have any dad issues because I guess I do, but I just never had a dad. Like, my dad split when I was 6, so I don't really relate necessarily to having dad issues, but I can kind of relate to some aspects of him not wanting to become his dad and kind of how he's repeating a lot of the same things his dad did. But I loved it. Sue's pregnant in this one. She's pregnant pretty much throughout the whole season. And so she's she's kind of coming to grips with her failed potential, basically, in giving up what her dreams to start and raise a family. It also, one thing I love about this show, and this season specifically, how it shows how ridiculous society was back then. Like, there's a scene where she goes to the hospital. She's in a car accident. She goes to a hospital, and nobody's around. Like, she's trying to call, of course, landlines of people, and nobody's home. Nobody can get a hold of anybody because she needs a ride home, because she can't go home on her own because she's a woman. She needs to have a man sign her out. And she can't get a hold of Frank because he's out with his dad, actually bonding with his dad. That was kind of a crazy. I think it takes place over a couple episodes. Like, it's after Sue has her baby shower. She's driving home, and her baby shower, she kind of breaks down and kind of comes to grips that she regrets. She has, regrets having the kid, and kind of regrets her, not following her dreams as a kid. And then she gets in a car accident, and there's like this kind of crazy thing where you see, like, the interweaving of these people in a little town, and how it's basically Frank and his dad are driving by the car accident while they're having this conversation, and they don't even notice that they don't notice this car that's been in it. Anyway, it's great. I love the season so much. Sue's pregnant. Frank's dealing with his thing. He's also trying to deal with his work and how his job as a manager at the Mohegan Air is just ruining his life and all the people that work there. Really, like, they've added a good amount of characters where I enjoy it, because a lot of shows, they'll add characters over seasons. Like, as the show progresses, as there's more seasons, they tend to add more and more characters, which is good because it allows you to do more things. But some shows, they just don't have good characters. This one, I think, is interesting. I enjoyed all the characters. Then you have the older son, Kevin, who's in a band, who's kind of getting in touch with his more emotional side in this season. He's kind of has a crush on a girl. He's trying to he's understanding what it is to be an artist and to kind of make concessions with the art in order to get popular. Then you have Bill, the younger son, who's getting into hockey and kind of finding a newfound confidence in himself. You have Maureen, who's kind of formed a friendship with this bad influence, this girl that was kind of dating Bill, who's just kind of this badass chick that comes from a hard upbringing. So she's kind of got that real roughness to her. But she becomes like a bad influence on Maureen, which is interesting because you usually don't see, like you usually would see like Bill being the bad influence, which I guess he had some in previous seasons, but it's interesting to see Maureen kind of like flying under the radar to everybody because the family's so concerned with, you know, Kevin and then Bill and then plus the dad's in town. It's just like a whole thing. So she's kind of flying under the radar with this, having this hanging out with this person that's taking her down a bad path. So there's just a lot of interesting characters doing interesting things in this show. And then also there's an episode that's Rosie, the black dude from Mohegan Air, who wants to get into politics and help his town by becoming the city alderman. And when he gets the nomination, he gets the job, he finds out how dirty politics are. But it's cool because he gets his own episode, his whole episode he gets. And it's also interesting to see how the problems, the social problems and issues that were going on back then are very much still going on today. But, you know, they've changed. Obviously, they've evolved over time, but it's still it's just interesting, especially since we're in a time with all the protests going on and kind of finally there are small steps of change. There's not really any big change going on, but there's definitely there is change. But it's interesting to see how little has really changed overall since then. But yeah, just because it's a comedy, there are some dramatic moments in this. I mean, when she gets in the car accident, it's pretty tough. The end of this season, I don't want to spoil the end, but the end is kind of, it all culminates at the hospital with Sue giving birth to the newest kid. And there's something that happens at the very end that's so brutal, just so brutal. So I don't know. I love this show. I think I love this show more now than I did. I kind of want to go back and rewatch all the previous seasons. But season 4 was a lot of fun. I did go back to season 3 and kind of get a refresher on it, which that was a good season too. That's where Sue was trying to come up with a new invention to kind of get famous or get popular, whatever. She just wanted to find success in another invention since the last one had been stolen. And it had to do a lot with the neighbor that was kind of the main source of contention in the show, which in this one it's more contained within the family. But yeah, I love the show so much. Bill Burr is amazing. His character is amazing. Just the writing is so great. I really love the show. So if you're looking for a show, if you have Netflix, F is for Family. If you haven't watched it yet, it's great. Animated show. But yeah, just such a good show. I highly recommend it. Check it out. Be sure to check out our sponsor, stationhousecoffee.com and Station House Coffee on the Instagrams for small batch, single origin, premium coffee, brewed in Vermont, shipped directly to you. Tell them the Ray Taylor Show sent you, and I guarantee that will put a smile on their face. So if you are in the need for coffee right now that is amazing, go to stationhousecoffee.com and follow Station House Coffee on Instagram and order your coffee today. InspiredDisorder.com/audible is where you go to get 2 free Audible books. That's right. You get a free trial with Audible, the #1 audiobook provider Just go to the link inspireddisorder.com/audible to get your 2 free books. That includes in your membership 1 credit equals 1 book per month. There's also Audible originals, guided wellness programs, and news, all through Audible service. So go to inspireddisorder.com/audible, AUDIBLE, for 2 books. Now, new episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every single day. Subscribe on IGTV, YouTube, and everywhere else podcasts are found. Go binge the full week ad-free over at patreon.com/inspireddisorder. Go buy Ray Taylor Show merch at inspireddisorder.com. Follow the show on Instagram at Ray Taylor Show. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace. Out!